Hi guys, let us understand next part of the servlet, like what does servlet do? What is request and response? What is the request and response model? Okay, so step one. First of all, client client sending request to some server, then servlet will receive this client request, most in the form of HTTP request, extract some information from your request, whatever you are sending. Let us say you are saying username, password, my username something, password is something, right? So consider you are having a login form in the page. So this is my username, this is my password, all right? And you are saying something like sign in. Okay, now you are entering something here, some username, password, right? As you say sign in, this request will go to the some of the server, right? On the server I have this guy Servlet. Now you are sending this data in form of request. So from this request it will extract this data. Okay, extract this information, do content generation or business logic process. Now this guy Servlet taking your data, now interacting with some other guy and doing something as per your request, right? And then it generate response for you. It set some data as with response object, and then it redirect this response to your page. So you are getting some inbox page here, right? Some inbox page will display, isn't it? So this is a responsibility of the server. It's a server side program. Okay, what is request, what is response? Information that is sent from client to server, we can say it is the request, the information which you are sending from your browser to server. So information means what it is containing, who made the request, what user enter data in is sent, which headers are sent. So there are some HTTP headers. What it is HTTP headers? Like what is the HTTP version you are using, right? What is the HTTP? What is your browser language, right? What is your browser coding and all? I mean some language related, okay? Some cookies and all. So there are some extra information related to that. We will get to know later once we understand the session management. Okay, what is response here? Information that is sent to client from server. Now server is doing some processing on request and giving back to you, right? So what information is containing that? So that could be some text, some output, could be some images, right? And also having the HTTP headers, cookies and all, etc, right? So okay, next is the request response model. You can see this request and response model here. So if browser sending the request, going to the server, and server on the server we are having servlet. This guy generate two object, request and response. So whatever the request is coming, it will come to here. Now this guy will retrieve it and then it will send some data to the response and it will go back to your browser. This is what request and response model. Okay. So there are three different players we are having: browser, where user is sending, or it is a kind of agent through which user is sending request. Now web server. On the web server doesn't do anything itself. It is having number of another software like Servlet container or web container, which is helping to do this job, right? Okay, so web server will take care your like web server is to receive HTTP request and then pass it to the web container or servlet container, which creates two different object, right, like request and response. Okay, so you can see this one. Fine. So next we'll see the HTTP now. What is HTTP? It's a protocol used by HTTP servlet for sending and receiving the message data, right? So HTTP request contains headers, a method like get, post, whether the method is get. You might have used some, if you have written some HTML code like form, then you are writing method equal to get or method equal to post, right? And action equal to something. So this is what get and post. If you're writing get, okay, the get type of URL will go. If you're writing post, post type of URL will go to the server, and then server will do some job on that. HTTP get and post. The most common client request, get. So user enter information is appended to the URL in the query string. Like this. Let us say you are entering username, password, first name, last name, and you say submit. So it will go to the servlet. Now it is saying first name equal to this, last name equal to this. So what is happening? Whatever the value you are entering, let us say sang and like something written that you have entered. This is your data and this is another last name. That is getting appended with the URL here, right? This is a URL here. And if you're sending, if you're having post method, then this value will not come. It will be remain here only. Then how the data is going? It is going through the request object. So user enter information is sent as data, not appended to URL. So it will not append with URL. Sometimes if you do some work, you might have noticed that the URL is getting changed. The big URL you're getting, right? But that is also having limitation. But this post can send any amount of data, right? Because it is getting attached with that object, request object. Okay. Now, first servlet, look it here. So whenever you want to make servlet, what you have to do? Consider, I just come to here first. If you want to make servlet, see this. There is the one API we are having, that is what called servlet config. Another we are having servlet. Another we are having serializable interface. These are the three interfaces we are having. Okay, all three are interface. From these three interface, one servlet has been created, that is called generic servlet. Now this generic servlet is again inherited to HTTP servlet. Okay, now this HTTP servlet is, if you inherit this HTTP servlet, you are having here your servlet. Okay, let us say I am creating class XYZ and I say extend HTTP servlet. I can write here, let us say class XYZ. Okay, and I write here extends what? HTTP servlet. Okay, then XYZ is my servlet. So if you are extending HTTP servlet, here you can get ready with the servlet. Now what you have to do? You have to override some method, right? So there are a number of methods we are having here, like do get, okay, do post, do put, some methods are there. Do trace, do option, do delete. So you can override that method as per requirement. If your form is having, say form you're writing a tag, and you're writing say method equal to get, okay, say closing the form. If it is method is get, then it will call the do get method. You are having do get method here, okay. If method is get, it will call this method from the servlet. If method is, let us say you are having post, then what will happen? You should have a do post method, otherwise it will not work. So if method is post, it will call the do post method from this servlet, right? So you can easily extend HTTP servlet and you can get ready with the servlet like I created here. Can I extend generic servlet? Yes, I can extend. If you are developing the HTTP protocol based application, you can extend this HTTP servlet. But suppose uh, you want to develop some generic based protocol, another protocol, you can extend this generic servlet and you can make servlet. But in that case, you have to override, like there are three methods in this. We are having a method like init method. We are having method service method, right? And we are having a method destroy. These are the three methods in this interface. But these two guys are already overridden here, but service method is not overridden here. So service method is still abstract here. Okay. So generic servlet is a abstract class here. This is the interface, but this is the generic servlet is abstract class here. So once you are implementing, extending this generic servlet, you have to override this service method and you have to write some code here, then it will work. If you are overriding or extending HTTP servlet, then service method is not required because service method is overridden here and that service method is calling these methods. Okay. So you need not to override this method here in HTTP servlet. You just need to override this. But still, always your request will go to the service method and then if it is a get, it will call do get. If it is a post, it will call do post. Like that it will call. Okay. If you are overriding service method, okay, here, then in every cases it will always come to the service method and call this. Then this guy will be useless here. So I hope you understood this whole hierarchy of servlet creation. So these are the three interfaces we are having, okay, and serializable. So it is for the input output, okay. Now, so we can understand this servlet here, public class hello servlet, and you must make it public here because servlet container has to access this class, so you have to make it public. So hello servlet extending HTTP servlet, overriding this do get method here. And this do get and do post or service method always take two arguments, servlet request and servlet response. So you have to pass this argument and you have to do some job here. That I'll tell you what is that. Okay. Like here we are saying response.set content. So we are saying that when the response will go, that response will be in HTML format. Okay. Print writer we are taking from the IO package print writer, and we are saying response.get writer. So we are getting the object of response type, and once we say .println, this message will go to the browser. Hello world. Okay. So it will set one title to your browser, hello world. Okay. Now, what is difference between CGI and servlet? So you can see this very clear here, the CGI and servlet here. For every request in the CGI, it is just generating a new process for every request, while the servlet is generating a thread, right? And it is handling. So servlet is always multi-threaded. One servlet can handle multiple requests, but here for every request, one process, right? See the major difference we are having. CGI, it is a common gateway interface which we are earlier using, and it is having some drawback, and servlet is just removing all these drawbacks, okay, whatever CGI is having. So in CGI, for every STD request, a new process has to be created, while in Servlet model, it is the thread that gets created in the same Java virtual machine, right? And that thread can stay there for servicing other requests. Also in CGI, every time a new request comes, the program image of CGI has to be loaded in memory, and which results in many redundant load of the same program. In the case of Servlet, a single class is loaded and multi threads are generated for that. Okay. So for servicing many requests, so this result in efficient memory uses, right? Now advantage over the CGI. So Servlet advantage, no CGI limitations. CGI are having some limitations. Abundant third-party tools and web servers supporting Servlet. Access to entire family of Java API, reliable, better performance and scalable, okay, platform and server independent, secure, most server allow automatic reloading of, right, and servlets by administrative actions. So but there are one, like I can say there is one disadvantage of servlet is what? It's a recompilation. So whenever you do changes with the servlet, you have to recompile, right? And you have to deploy on the server, then it will work only, right? So that's all about the understanding servlet. So next we'll understand how to make a servlet application and how to deploy it, right? Okay.